Alright guys, back working on the old 7.3 IDI, and today I'm doing something I really did not want to do, but it has to be done because, as you can see, I'm leaking oil out of my timing cover here. And how this seals is it's not a gasket, there's RTV from the factory underneath this cover. Normally, I've even said on some of my previous videos that you do not want to remove this cover because there's a gear that the injection pump bolts into here, and that is in sequence with the camshaft gear. And if those are not perfectly aligned, then you're going to have issues. You're going to have you're going to be out of time. And I'll show you to the best of my ability. I'm trying to keep the camera fixed because I've been told that when I move around with my camera, it goes out of focus. So I'm going to try to do this the best I can without moving too much. Alright. Now you see the Y marks? Now the top one is the injection pump, and the bottom one is the cam gear. These are just some spare gears I had laying around. And they have to be aligned perfectly like that. And if you're off one gear, you might not even be able to start the truck. So you have to be perfectly aligned like so, Y to Y. So it's the one tooth on the top injection pump into the middle of the two teeth on the cam gear. And that's exactly how it has to be lined up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I guess, do the forbidden, and to seal that up, I'm going to score my gear to my timing cover. You want to make sure that the truck does not get started if you're going to do this. You don't want that gear to move, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this inspection plate cover here, and kind of like how I normally remove the injection pump, but I'm going to score that gear to the timing cover, so if that gear moves, I can put it back in a perfect alignment for how I took it off. And that way, when I set it back down, it should set down perfectly how I took it off. And my timing should not be off. I bought the expensive stuff. It's like $20-some a bottle for this little 5-ounce bottle. I bought the RTV silicone sealant right at the dealership. You just go in there and ask them for the Motorcraft RTV oil pan gasket sealant, and they'll hook you up with this. This is supposed to be some of the better stuff you can use, and since I don't want this leaking again, that's what I bought. I opted for that. You probably could get away with using some simple RTV, but I chose to buy the oil pan gasket sealer because I don't want to have to do this again. So anyway, without further delay, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to undo all my injector lines, and I'm going to score the pump, and I'm going to get ready to remove this. Alright, just a update on the second part of the process, so you have to watch all my wrench time. I have my intake tube off. I have all my injector lines loose. I have the C-clip or E-clip, whatever the heck it's called, off of my kickdown rod. Got the lines off my my vacuum regulator valve here. The vacuum lines off of that. I have all my connections off of my injection pump and my tach sensor unplugged. So I'm just about ready to take this inspection cover off here. Now, if you haven't had it off in a while, you're going to have to kind of work a screwdriver or a punch and kind of pry it off like so, and it'll come off. Now this gets sealed with RTV as well. You can kind of see the old RTV on there. So I'm going to clean that off. I'm going to use the same gasket sealer on this as I did on as I'm going to use on the timing cover here. And normally, again, like I said, when you remove your injection pump, it's very pertinent that you don't remove it this way. This is just the only reason I'm removing it this way is to reseal this timing cover because I'm leaking out of it way too much. So normally these there's 3 bolts right here that the pump itself bolts into. You remove those, remove the injector lines, remove your feed line to the injection pump, and any of the connections like the VRV or whatever other things you have attached to the injection pump, and you can pull the injection pump out that way, and that's the proper way to remove the injection pump itself. So otherwise, if you don't mark the gear and you remove it, this whole unit, you take it out, you'll have to pull the whole front crankcase cover in order to line back up those gears or try to find it with a light and a pick tool. I've done that once before. It is not fun, and it takes a long time. So without further ado, I'm gonna mark my gear. I'm gonna mark it to the cover. So hopefully I do this right once. I don't have to do it again. All right, I'm at the point of no return now. Or I guess almost no return. I got my whiteout and I slotted a mark there and there. I got kind of crazy because I marked it in a couple places. I marked it there, and then I put a hard mark. It's harder to see on the camera, but I put a hard mark going all the way to a mark on the gear here. This gear is hardened steel, so it's a little harder to put a mark into that, but I have several places where I marked it, so when I take this off, I can find where it's supposed to go exactly when I put it back on. If any of that's misaligned when I go to put it back on, I'm going to be in trouble. Because you pretty much only get one shot at it. So, basically, in summary, what I'm going to do next, because I'm not going to record all that, I'll just skip to the end when I'm done. But I'm going to clean out this groove here and that gasket surface. I'm going to clean off all that junk on the cover. There's another groove inside of here. I'm going to clean all that out. I'm going to wire wheel my fasteners. Those are the ones I took out of here at the top. They were pretty rusty at these top mounting bolts, the real long ones. And to get this out of here, you kind of have to rock it. I mean, it's been sitting there for, 20, 30 years. Or, I'm staying corrected. It was 85, so, whatever. It's been sitting there a while. You get the point. So, kind of have to rock it out and clean everything up. Put my silicone sealant down and pray for the best. All right.